Okay, we are back. One of the points of these shows I would like to get is to have people that listen or on my group. I know I've been saying to do call-ins or whatever, but a lot of people must do their own things, have their own experiences, or even going through their own experiences that they would like to share with the world.
Yeah.
And they could, call in, tell us about it. We can, even just listen or add insight or just get your own word of what's, you're going through. You're out for other people to hear.
Yeah.
I know I talked to a few people, they said they were kind of shy about doing this stuff, but so am I.
Oh, yeah, but the thing is, once you start doing it, it feels pretty natural, and it's fun. So you're talking about bringing guests in.
Yeah, that have their own story to share.
Yeah. People are interested in other people's experiences with this stuff, and I think we're sharing one time, it makes people feel like it's more of a normal thing for them, and that's important. It's important for people to know that they're not the only ones experiencing these things. In the old days, we were quite limited in what we would share in society, but the time is now where we're so-called coming out of the closet as psychics and as having gifts, because we all do have them. So we do welcome you.
I know a lot of people that I talked to on here that didn't willingly want to come out and do a show, but, they're having a lot of OBEs, they're astral traveling.
Yeah.
Some people are getting crazy information of stuff I never heard tell of, but it resonates to be true.
Yep.
Like getting codes and numbers and stuff from like either extraterrestrial or other beings giving them like new insights.
Yep.
It's all like new information that's being downloaded, but they tell us stuff. Like my cousin, he tells me stuff all the time about ancient history that's not even written about.
They're not going to talk about it.
But he can write a whole book on it. Like,
yeah.
And I'd like to get him on here. There's so many people out there that got crazy gifts or knowledge that's coming into them or experiences that are happening to them.
Yeah. So you're more than welcome. Come on in. It's going to be fun, You'll enjoy it.
And, we don't even have to add insight because it's your experience, but at least get it out to the world. And, some of the stuff that people's going on coincides with stuff that's been going on with me or stuff that Tim knows about.
Yeah.
Just get over the initial shyness.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not good at talking either. Like, every time I sit down to do one of these, I'm just like, oh my God, what am I going to talk about?
Yeah, most people aren't. Most people have a great fear of that, but in the end, you do it, and you do it for fun first, and then the rest will follow. So, so it's a matter of, coming out, sharing your experience. You'll be surprised. Many more people say, hey, wait, I thought I was the only one that was going through those things and having these experiences. So it's really a way of normalizing it, too. So you got to realize, too, we're heading more into that because a lot of the TV shows now are about Long Island Psychic. I don't watch it, but paranormal shows about ghosts and stuff that never used to be on.
They're all over the place.
Yeah, so people are turning to that. I've also seen people's attitudes and things change over time, and I've seen people get more in their hearts, so I know things are changing. And they're actually changing at quite an enormous rate, more than we think. There's certain topics and ways that people will no longer speak of. People are tending to talk towards more of the solution, and they tend to be a lot more kinder than they used to.
We advanced more in the last 10 years, like technology-wise or socially-wise, than the world did in the last 500.
Oh, there's been massive social revolutions.
Me and Tim's are talking, and we're not. The door's not getting busted in. We're not being burned at the stakes for talking about this stuff.
Yeah.
Like only a couple hundred years ago that happened.
That's right. I mean, communism fell. I mean, Germany, the Berlin Wall collapsed. All these social movements were progressing at an accelerated rate. So it's just going to get more. There's going to be more and more of it. So be open to these things that are happening. You don't need to fear them because there's so many other people. So when we come together and we share our experiences, like I said, we tend to normalize them and they tend to not make us as afraid. When we think we're the only ones, that's what really makes us more scary than anything else.
Okay, we had a comment coming before the show. Come on, it said, I would like to hear a show on why all the new belief systems are exactly the same as the old belief systems. They just change the names of everyone, but still use the stuff that comes out of the Bible.
Yeah.
It's like, Wise Law was New Age teaching, same as biblical teaching. Why are these new guides that are supposed to be guiding us the same characters that come out of the olden days? Or even people are channeling Pleiadians and stuff. How would you know that they're actually telling any kind of truths, or is it another being kind of masquerading as them? Why do we have these guides?
I would say go back to trusting your own inner teacher. I mean, the Bible was written 2,000 years ago, and I mean, there's probably some truth in it, but there's also some that it's not truth, and it was changed. I would say trust your own inner guide. They say prayer is when you ask the questions to source, and meditation is when you can receive them. So those are two very important things.
So it's like this, like why, we got all these unanswered questions.
Yeah.
And if you ask it, people will say, just shut up and listen. Don't question this beliefs. It's the same as in all belief systems. You just believe because we told you to.
Yeah.
And since I can't see myself holding on to this belief any longer, and these guides that everyone gives their information out, they're the same guides, spirits, or astral entities that are, telling all this stuff.
Yeah.
I get stuff where people are telling me too, but you just gotta. There's only one real answer to this whole thing: is think for yourself.
Yeah, that's right.
You can get all this information, just basically just. I don't know how to explain, but
remember what you truly are.
I read everything, right?
Yeah.
And I study all these different things. I don't take any beliefs from any of them. It's just always just think for myself, use my own discernment.
Yeah.
It's hard to really answer all that, but
in the end, it's just you and
like I found myself believing certain things I read about. Now I don't.
Yeah.
I think we're just all evolved until eventually we won't have to.
Yeah.
We'll just have the information for ourselves and not have to rely on reading it somewhere or out of channeled messages.
Yeah. Belief systems, right? We're trying to overcome the belief systems, the old, upgrade them to the new. So know yourself and caveat emptor. Don't believe everything you hear.
I don't even believe my own. I could be laying down if I want to do channel and I don't know if they're what kind of messages they are. I just
may not always be.
I just take it as a grain of salt and say, okay, well that's pretty neat.
Yeah.
I don't know if I believe it or not, but
yeah.
It's neat that I picked up the stuff.
Use your own discretion. Absolutely. So in the end, it's all you got anyway.
Here's a neat saying I wrote down while we was taking a break. It's a neat saying, and when you say this, it kind of makes you even feel better. It says, I return myself to the point of the fetus of the mother's womb. I reconnect all my DNA strands to that of the Mother Earth. I am a sovereign being. This is my manifestation of self-truth.
Yes. Yeah.
That could almost be like a mantra.
It sounds like a mantra and a prayer to no longer receive any further programming and to return to your innocence and the absolute truth that you're born with, the inner self. Before we get programmed, before we believe all these things that were just short of lies. They may serve some high people at the top, but they certainly don't serve all of humanity. Everything's working out. It's going to take some time, but it's okay.
We did a lot of shows. We talked on a lot of the same things, but now my mind is going. If we could talk forever, I almost like to talk on karma, the Lords of Karma and the reincarnation trap. Someday, like a big discussion on that.
Yep.
On information that I received on it.
Well, certainly Buddhism talks a lot about karma, and so does Islam. Christianity, not so much, but they did mention one thing, that John the Baptist had come back, this life from being Elijah. So that still is. There's one quote in Christianity that does confirm that also.
And ways to break the karma trap.
And ways to break it.
That's to keep us.
We don't want to keep recycling this. Again, Buddha said, release your samsara, which is release birth and death and rebirth. Eventually, it's great to be here, but we got to move beyond it eventually. Also, because life is full of suffering and all that.
Reincarnation into wrong soul families.
Yeah,
I think we talked about this before.
Yeah.
That's causing us to lose soul shards, they call it. We got to bring ourselves all of our pieces and parts back together to ourselves.
Become a whole person, we can invite them back to ourselves. We can invite, our higher self to help us to do that, to bring the old soul fragments back.
But the main trick of karma is, people have so many cultures have every different belief system imaginable out there, right?
Yeah, there is.
So when you die, you go to the tunnel. A Christian will have Jesus.
Yeah.
Someone will have Buddha.
Yep.
Someone will have, this and that, and then they're going to give them a life review, make them feel bad, kick them in the ass, and send them back. But the thing is to know better.
That didn't feel right.
Some people that put out messages that escape the trap said, when after death is to look away from the light.
Yeah.
Concentrate somewhere else so you don't go to it and get sucked back in.
Yeah, really. Yeah.
And all this stuff can cause great arguments. And, I talk at spiritual meetings on my point of views on things that were out there compared to what the New Age beliefs were. And it just causes a lot of fear and anger in people. And when you just try to have a conversation.
Well, when I learned through Abraham's teachings, they taught us to be allowers and to keep our own counsel. Let people have their beliefs. Don't try to force it. And,
Well, you can't force it.
No, you can't. Because people are not ready until they're ready. And only then the teacher appears. So we can't really force this stuff. It isn't going to work.
When I'm trying to tell people stuff, I'm not putting a belief, because then that's my belief system.
Yeah.
Which
Suggestions.
I try not to have a belief system, so it's suggestions to maybe expand your consciousness to be open to new things and learn about new things, instead of being stuck into a belief system.
People will actually listen better if you say, this is what I've come to, my experience. Make up the decision for yourself, what you want to believe. Take what you want, leave the rest. Then people are more apt to listen than if you try to thrust it. I remember growing up with organized religion, and I know I sometimes knock it, but also, there was some good to it. But it was thrust upon me. It was pushed at me. Bible thumpers and stuff like that. And I turned the other way. It's like, no, this can't be right. It didn't feel right. It didn't feel right for it to be thrust upon me. If they would have had come back, in the old days and said, this is take it or leave it, I probably would have listened more. But so be it. I followed the teachings from many the avatars and what feels right for me. You'll find that the golden rule is in in some way in every religion. Do unto others as you'd have them do unto you. You could take just that one thing and live your life by it, and it'd be enough.
Oh, so much stuff going through my mind.
Yeah.
Stuff that I can't put out in words.
Well, there's always lots of other times too. We'll get back to doing it again.
One thing is, people get into spirituality, then it's all of a sudden they're walking around like, oh, I'm a spiritual high being, it's all love and light, and they're walking around with smiles on their faces and ignoring the bad that's going on in the world. Yeah. That's kind of, to me, that's not good.
Yeah. You got to be informed, I guess, and then you make the choice and choose the higher rather than the lower.
We do got to realize we actually, all of us come here to take the system down from the inside.
Yeah.
Through either we woke up through regular incarnation or we took the back door of incarnation as star seeds to come to Earth. Yeah. And a lot of people can have so die hard in their belief systems. It could be New Age, religion, or anything, but it ain't their fault, right?
No.
They come here with amnesia. As humans are an amnesia.
No, we're essentially innocent.
They can be brought up that way.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, someone can just change.
Yeah.
And not have that belief system anymore, and come out of it, and then maybe have more knowledge to help people with.
Yep. Oh yeah, absolutely.
It's not a person's fault that
nobody's fault
that they're stuck into a belief system.
No, you can't blame anyone. It's the Buddha talked about ignorance being really only the sin. There's no real sin in the world because we do our best, right? So we get informed. We think for ourselves. We get informed, and then we're not as ignorant. And there's still so many things out there that I do not know. But we're learning as we go.
Besides religion and spirituality, to me, I see people that are not into either, but you still want them to wake the hell up from the slave government system that they're in.
Yeah.
And they're so into it, like, no, we got to have a government. We got to vote. We got to say. That's another whole part of awakening, whole separate from what we talked about tonight. But now you see people waking up on both sides now, and you never seen that 10 years ago.
No.
So we are moving at a quick rate, like what you said.
Yeah. And remember to wear the world like a loose garment. We don't have to take it all too serious. Do the right thing for the right reason, but be lighthearted. Wearing the world like a loose garment, which you can take off and on it.
I just think people are sick of it.
Yeah.
People don't want to be here anymore.
No. A lot of people are exiting and they're sick of the old system. It just doesn't feel right. Their soul's advancing.
Why do you think the pharmaceutical companies are selling zillions of depression pills a day?
Something isn't right. Yeah, absolutely. The Divine Comedy, eh? Everything's backwards.
Backwards, upside down.
Yeah.
And you can't get depressed about it because I went through it.
No, it's just you can't let yourself.
It's just going to bring you down more.
Yeah, once you're there, it's got a real hold on you. So
Basically, you just got to have. Just don't
yeah,
let yourself have fun.
yeah.
You don't feel bad for it.
Yeah, be lighthearted. If you find yourself going there, reach out. Get some help that you need. Talk to somebody. Do anything, because once you're there, it's very difficult to get back. I'm not saying it's impossible, but a lot of people at the level of apathy have lost hope, and we don't want to go there. We don't want to go there. We want to be here to primarily uplift others and see their strengths, not their weaknesses, and know that it's hard, but you can do it. I believe that our source will not give us more than we can handle. We just underestimate ourselves and what we're capable of. We're more powerful than we know. And then we got our egos telling us that we're not. We're small. No, there's only one thing small, and it is the ego. It's actually it's just illusion. So don't listen to it. It's full of lies.
So we're going to end that show with this. And I'll just like to end with, when you go to sleep tonight, every night try to connect to dream time.
Connect to it.
They call it dream time societies.
Yeah.
We can go into our own dream time.
Yeah.
Like, it's another world, right? We can create our own world in dream time. We're co-creating species.
Yeah.
They call it creating our local realities.
Yeah.
In dream time.
Yeah, we're doing lots of work in our sleep time for sure. And take the time, at least a little bit time during the day, just to calm your mind. And anyway, some people like nature. You don't have to meditate. Some people can. It's not for them. But take time to relax. It's so important. It's so important because we got to, at least for a little while, shut that brain down.
We're too much on the go.
Yeah.
Thinking and physically.
Yeah. Get worn out.
Even for health reasons, you don't have to take yoga or qigong or tai chi or meditate. But even if you just take 1 minute of the day.
Yeah, even a minute.
Just to stop.
Yeah.
And breathe.
Just breathe.
That's it.
A few conscious breaths here and there. That's it's a start. It certainly is a start.
Stop being in the matrix and become self-aware.
Yeah.
For a few minutes.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're out.
Very good.
So, only people who listen to this are on my page. So remember, we're looking for people to call in and
everyone's welcome.
Share their experiences.
We don't turn anyone down. It's unconditional.
Okay, till next time, Tim.
Yeah. Thank you, Jamie.